Well. Manchester City have just beaten Arsenal 2-0 in the Carabao Cup Final, and the chances of winning a quadruple are over. It's done. Arsenal, one trophy down, but not for them. There's still three trophies to win, so I don't think it's the end of the world for Arsenal. But ultimately, I think Manchester City were the better team today. They played the better football, they attacked more, they had the better chances, and ultimately they deserve to win today. And Pep Guardiola has added yet another title to his, big portfolio. And I mean, look at how everything went. Today, we're just thinking about how bad Man City had been going into this game and how good Arsenal were playing going into this game. And it just did not look like the teams were looking the way we thought they were going to be. We thought Arsenal were going to be dominant and we thought City were going to be under pressure. And it seemed like it was the opposite today. So, good win for Man City. I think Mikel Arteta probably got his tactics wrong today. That's my opinion. I think there was a bit too much respect shown to Man City because for most of the second half, it was Man City who were playing the better football. Yes, in the first 20 minutes, we saw Arsenal play better football and get the attack going, but Trafford was able to save Man City from getting one goal behind. But I mean, after the first 20 minutes, Arsenal never really looked like they were in the game, and Man City really pushed and got two goals. Nico O'Riley, hero of the day as well. So I mean, big result for Man City, considering that this has not been a great season for them. So to still win a trophy, and there's still another chance to win one more trophy in the FA Cup. And the Premier League title race is not really over. It's still seeing that Arsenal are still the favourites, but it's still not over. So Man City could still spoil the party, but I think right now what's important is Man City beating Arsenal, and it was a good result for City. Arsenal, not a great result, not a good display as well, and that's something that Arteta probably has to think about going into the next few games after the international break. But I'm going to talk about some key things here, and I'm just going to start with the over-respect, in my opinion. I think when Arsenal were playing in this game, like I said, the first few minutes, I saw the chances were there and Trafford was able to save City. But ever since then, like after that, I was just like, it looked like Arsenal were just willing to let Man City play the football. They were basically camped in Arsenal's half, and the crosses were coming in. They were just not able to score a couple of them. Semenyo had a lot of good crosses in this game, and I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, will Arsenal try to attack? Like, I want to see a free-flowing game. And the shocking thing is, I believe Arsenal are better than what we saw today. Arsenal are a better team than what we saw today, but they just look like they gave too much respect to Man City and Pep. And it was like, okay, you get ahead and try and attack. We're going to defend well, and probably maybe they were planning to get on the counter and score goals. But I just thought, why don't you try and take control of this game? At the end of the day, in a final, nobody comes to lose. And when you think about how the game goes, if you get something right, you are a genius, and if you don't get it right, you're the biggest fool. But the simple truth is, it just didn't work. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's a trophy at the end of the day, and you want to win trophies. And I said, no team gets to any final to lose. But really, I think there was just too much respect from Arsenal. I think they didn't take the game to Man City, and it was a bit shocking because, like I said, Arsenal are a better team than this. But I'm going to talk about the goalkeepers because the real talk was always about James Trafford starting for Man City, and in the first few minutes, he made 3 saves, a triple save, and I was like, wow. First one was from Havertz, then Saka, and then Saka again, all within like 5 seconds, and that was what saved Man City from going down early in the game. So kudos to Trafford, and from there, I don't really think he had that much to do after. But we have to talk about the next goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga. That was a big blunder. A big blunder, and that changed the game, in my opinion. I genuinely thought that after Man City scored, we'll probably see Arsenal attack more, but really shortly after, Arsenal scored again. Sorry, Man City scored again. But, I mean, when you look at that kind of mistake, it's just shocking. And we know he's better than this. We know Kepa is a better goalkeeper, but, I keep saying it in most of my videos that goalkeepers are going to make errors. They're bound to make errors, but when they're not forgivable or when they cost your team something. And in this situation, Kepa's mistakes cost Arsenal. They cost Arsenal this particular game. And it was just one, to be fair, it was one mistake, but it was significant enough. And we have to give props to Nico O'Riley. He was sharp, and he was first to get to that ball when Zubimendi was trying to mark him. So give props to O'Riley, and he got the second goal as well, just literally 4 minutes after, with a beautiful cross. I think it was from Cherki. Cherki was amazing in this game. I think he was doing the whole showboating thing a bit too much, and I don't think Pep was happy about it. But you really have to say that Cherki was great today, and O'Riley, the man of the match in my opinion, 2 goals in 4 minutes, and he was great defensively as well. So this is a player that has come clutch for Man City and probably has secured his starting spot in Man City's team. Although your starting spot in a Man City team is never fully guaranteed, but the way he's going and with his age, I think he's one for the future for sure. But I want to talk about some other things as well. Like I said, more importantly, I'm looking at Pep in general. Like, this is his 19th trophy for Man City alone. That is a crazy start in my opinion. 19 trophies in about 10 years. So he's winning about 2 trophies a year. That is really, really good stuff for Man City and Pep. Yes, there are some seasons where he won about 6 trophies or 5 trophies in one season. So, but the point is 19 trophies, 5 of them have been the Carabao Cup as well, the League Cup. So I think fantastic for him. Fantastic. And you can see that he's able to still get his tactics spot on for some finals. And I don't think he overthought in this one. I think the person who overthought was probably Mikel Arteta in this particular game. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of people were coming into this game thinking that, oh, this is a make or break for Arsenal. While it could be, I don't think it is. I do not think this is a make or break for Arsenal. Yes, they've lost this game and it was just not a very good performance in general. But they are still 9 points clear in the Premier League. 9 points clear. Now, it could end up being just 3 points if you sit down and think about it, because Man City have a game in hand. They've not been winning recently, but this is a confidence booster. So if they win that game that they haven't played, which is against Crystal Palace, it becomes 6 points. And if they somehow beat Arsenal when they come to the Etihad, then it becomes 3 points. And from then on, Arsenal cannot make mistakes. So I do think that at the end of the day, Arsenal just need to keep their heads. They need to concentrate and finish up with the Premier League. I still think they'll win the Premier League. That's just my opinion. I think they'll win the Premier League. But the Champions League and the FA Cup look very interesting now. Like, they could still win the FA Cup. The Champions League may be tough because they're going to go probably and face either, obviously they're facing either Atletico or Barcelona in the semi-final, and in the final they're going to see either PSG, Liverpool, probably not going to happen, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. So those are obviously going to be tough games. So it's not a walk to the final, maybe a walk to the semi-final for them, but I think it's going to be tough for them to win the Champions League. But ultimately, I don't think this is make or break for Arsenal. I think they need to keep their heads right, and they need to keep their heads and make sure that they fight till the very end and get at least 1 trophy, because it could all go wrong from here. Like, it just depends on how they're going to react. And like I said, this is not the beginning of the end for Arsenal. I just think it's one game where they have messed up, and they just need to keep their heads. They need to keep the belief and try and see if they can go ahead and win the other trophies that are available. I don't think they're going to win all 3, but I think they need to win at least 1. 2 will be nice for them, but the Premier League is looking like the most likely one to happen. Any other one is fantastic for them. Arsenal fans wouldn't complain. And let's be real, before the season started, I don't think any Arsenal fan was thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, we want to win the Carabao Cup. But you get to a final and you don't want to lose, so they don't mind it. But you're only sad about it, or you only disregard it when you lose. But like I said, the Premier League has been their focus, and that's still what they're going to be looking forward to. So ultimately, not a bad result for Man City, poor results for Arsenal, and I mean, a trophy for City. Who's going to complain? And as a resident Arsenal non-liker, because of the Arsenal fans that will always be in my DMs, I want to mention somebody's name, but I'll keep it to myself for now. But I mean, I'm not complaining too much. Like, Arsenal lost the final. I'm not complaining. But anyway, that's it for this one. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're on the road to 400 subscribers. Please, please, please be one of the people who joins this big family. I would really appreciate it. But before you go, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and watch one of these videos on your way out. I'll see you guys there. Cheers.